Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our RimWorld Rome Let's Play. We're not being raided or anything right now. I figured we'd pick up here just because there is a wedding currently going on, and in today's episode, focus more on the base than defending it. But there's also some solutions to various issues we've been having I'd like to go over, and some planning for the future I think we also need to do. So let's start by going over the new names for characters that have been renamed, and then we'll move into this whole components issue and also the issue of our kill zones up here. So the first character that I renamed between episodes is Kate, who's now Alexandria. Now there was a lot of names suggested for Kate. She was pretty popular in the comments when she appeared because she's kind of spunky. She was giving us a lot of trouble as a prisoner. And I had a lot of name suggestions for her. So I had to obviously only choose one, but I did go ahead and use all of the other names suggested for different female characters. But I obviously went with Alexandria. I thought it was very fitting. She is, of course, Macedonian, and she has quite a strong personality. So I felt that it fit quite well. And then moving on to our actual colonists. You can actually rename prisoners, by the way. I never do it, because I don't see a point in renaming them until they actually join us. But you can rename prisoners. So Alexandria, or Kate is now Alexandria. And then moving on, Gallia is the first character I've renamed from our colony. Now this actually wasn't technically a name that was submitted. It was actually a word used in somebody's name submission. And it means effectively like hat or helmet. But I thought that it sounded good as a name, and also that it was pretty fitting for one of our female legionnaires who is going to be wearing a helmet quite often. So I liked it and went with it. And then moving on, that was Blue, by the way. So Blue is now Gallia, right? Yeah, Blue. Hair is now Valen. That was just a name submitted. I didn't change that one. I did change Bison's new name. It was submitted as like Talisser or something, or Talisser. It sounded very male though, very masculine. I decided to make it female because I needed a lot more female names than male names, and because as a female name, it reminded me of, or in feminizing it, it reminded me of Talissa Stark. So I figured, you know, why not? That's perfect. So Bison is now Talissa. The other name that I almost chose for Kate/Alexandria was Danica. I did really like it, but again, I thought that Alexandria was just a little bit more fitting. So I ended up giving Danica to her, though I can't recall what her original name was. Maybe it was Colmea? I don't know. Colmea is not a bad name either, but she's Danica now. Boss is now Remus. I think that's a pretty obvious name to derive its origin from. I really liked his original name, though. Not his original nickname, but Joe Panzer, I think, is my favorite of the names generated in RimWorld. I don't know why. I really liked it. And then we have, what was your name before? Kenzo, right? So Kenzo is now Cassius. I'm going to pronounce it Cassius. I don't know if this was meant to be a different spelling of maybe Cassius, or maybe unintentionally a different spelling of Cassius. All I know is this was the way it was spelled in the comments. I liked it, and since, you know, Cassius is, you know, a pretty common Roman name, at least when you're reading historical stuff, I like the idea of it being similar but not quite the same. So I'm going to pronounce it Cassius regardless. Then we have Katya, Desiree, and Decius. These three have not been renamed. Well, technically Desiree has, just a long time ago. I'll probably start calling her Des, though, because her name's getting cut off, and for some reason I think I'm going to forget it, so I'm just going to start calling her Des. Katya is actually Katya's original name, so I may change this in the future if I see a name that I prefer to it, but I think it is adequate for the time being, so I'll just leave that as it is for now. That's the names out of the way, so then let's move on to the whole component situation. We are still researching the stuff we need for components, and that's not going to change. I don't feel that it's fair for us to produce components in any capacity without having gone through the research first. Even though it's going to be quite tedious and we are sort of going to cheat. I mean, it's not cheating because we're using in-game mechanics, but we have a little device that has apparently disappeared. Oh, that's not good. But we had a... Oh, there it is. This sub-persona core is going to basically give us a free research project. So it's going to speed things up. But again, it's not cheating because this is an actual in-game thing. But it is going to allow us to skip one of these. Probably the multi-analyzer. However, we're still going to go through the process to research it all. The main change that I'm going to make is I'm going to add the recipe just as it would be on the fabrication bench to one of these smithies. It doesn't really matter which one. They're effectively the same. They just have different builds available. So this one is just a reskin of the vanilla smithy through, the old style furniture here. But if we were to build, where is it? Not the fueled one. Or actually, yeah, the fueled one. If we were to build this, it would have the same builds available as this. So it's got all of the vanilla stuff that you would typically find in the smithy, as well as any modded stuff that has been added to the vanilla smithy. This is where we've been making a lot of our armor, like the Cardiophylax. It's also where we're making our Gladii, our Pila, and I think some of our bows too. Yeah, the recurve bow and the short bow. So we're making a lot of our weapons here. The Mediterranean smithy is the one added via Ancient Rim, and that has a lot of the Ancient Rim armor. In fact, all of it except for the Cardiophylax. I don't know why that's on a different bench. I thought it was part of the same mod, but I couldn't answer that. Anyways, this is where all of our armor comes from. This is where all our weapons come from for the most part. I don't really care which one. We're just going to add it to one of them. However, the bill will not appear until the research is finished. And I think that's the most fair way to go about it. So we won't need electricity to produce these, but we're also not going to be using them to create anything that couldn't run without electricity. So for the most part, it's just going to be ballista and things like that. I think that's a very fair compromise. So hopefully you guys agree. There was other potential solutions, though I don't think they would actually solve the problem of us not being able to make components. One suggested was to basically just go around on the world map and set up like a mining station where we could harvest components. The issue is components are exceedingly rare in this scenario. In fact, I don't think we've been able to mine any of them from the map here except for this meteor that came on fairly recently. So going somewhere in the hopes of finding some to mine is kind of a fool's errand. We would be extremely lucky to find them. And so in doing that, we would have to visit probably several tiles, because unless we were able to see them visibly, there would be no reason to settle down. I'm not going to strip mine an entire tile just to, hope that there's something there. So I don't think that's an adequate solution. Now, we might set up a mining outpost at some point, but it's not going to be for the sole purpose of being our component provider. It's just going to be an additional place for us to harvest resources that we need. Most probably things like bronze. But I don't know if that's even something we're necessarily going to do. It's just a thought that, I had and we discussed in the comments that maybe will happen. The other solution was to go, visit people and trade for them. That is, I think, equally poor in terms of success chance, because again we're relying on chance effectively. We don't know what somebody is going to have if we go visit them to trade. For example, I can click on these and it'll tell me what they're willing to buy, but it's not going to tell me what they have for sale. So if I go there, they might have components for sale, they might not. And the only way for me to find components for sale is to basically just visit everybody. The other issue is that there are certain factions that just aren't going to have components. So the tribal factions typically won't have them. I don't think they ever sell them. I don't think I've ever seen them sell them. I don't know why they would have them, because they don't, use electricity or anything. The Mediterranean factions, so the Romans and the Spartans and the Macedonians, they might not have components either. I would wager that they don't, because they, again, don't use machinery. So that pretty much just leaves the Outlander Union and the Pirates, effectively. And the Pirates obviously aren't going to trade with us. So that pretty much only leaves like one faction that we would be able to trade components with for. And again, even if we go to their settlements, there's a chance that they don't have components available. So that is, I think, a very poor way to source components. Not to say that we won't buy and sell components, it's just I'm not going to go out looking for those types of deals and relying on those types of deals. If somebody comes to visit us and they have components for sale, absolutely we'll buy them. If we go to a friendly settlement and they have stuff for sale, absolutely we'll, buy components. But I am not going to go searching for places to buy components. Anyways, that is the component situation. So as soon as the research is done, we're going to tear these out, or I'll just delete them with the dev tools so that we don't get anything in return, because we technically cheated those in. And then that is all of the advanced research that we're ever going to do. Everything else we won't need that for. And I'll try to remember after this episode to add the bill to there so that we can craft those as soon as the research is done. Lastly, before we get started, we have these kill zones, and there's been a lot of debate over how we should go about keeping them clear. My current system is to basically just, fill it with gravel, because gravel is not as fertile as other... Sorry about that interruption. There seems to be a running theme of people banging shit together outside my window today. Anyways, we are trying to keep these areas clear mostly by, using it as our farming area, because that's not going to provide any cover for any enemies marching through it. And then everywhere else, basically just filling it with gravel because it's not particularly fertile for stuff to grow on, and then cutting down anything that does eventually grow. And I've just been doing that manually. A lot of people have suggested putting a very large growing zone across these areas and having something like grass planted so that the ponds will not allow stuff to grow in those areas. I don't think that that is a viable solution. It would potentially do the job, but the cost, especially in terms of like manpower or pond power and time spent, I don't think is anywhere close to worth it. So for example, down here where we have a big open space, let's draw a growing zone. So we'll just do this rectangle right here. And then let's go through the different types of crops we have available that we could use for this. Now, obviously we're not going to do trees because that's going to provide them with cover. Probably not going to do anything like this except for maybe hay grass, which I'll come back to. Some of these are, vanilla stuff. The berry bush is vanilla, but a mod allows me to plant this as a crop. And then there's stuff added by the Mediterranean mod or Ancient Rim. Actually, I don't remember if it's separate from Ancient Rim. Anyways, it's added by a mod. So pomegranates, olives, grapes, and artichokes. Heel root, and then flowers, and then we get into kind of the more eccentric stuff. You guys are familiar with most of these. Dense grass is, I think, what most people were suggesting, but here's the rub. For dense grass, the lifespan is 25 days. That is incredibly poor. So what that means is if we plant a whole field of dense grass, they will grow, and then whenever they are in their adult state, their maximum growth state, they will live... Actually, no, I think it starts immediately. I don't remember, because I think they may have changed it over the course of different versions of the game. Anyways, at minimum, we can expect it to live for 25 days. At maximum, it might be closer to 27.5 or 30 if, it's not going to count until it's matured, but I'm pretty sure it counts the entire process. Therefore, every 25 days we have to replant these fields, and that's, again, potentially not just this one, but this whole area, because we ideally like to have it for the maximum range of our weapons, so that as soon as the enemy comes out of the trees, we can accurately engage them without them having any cover. So it would ideally be out to here. And then in terms of here, it would be this whole section too, or at least the sections around our crops. And then over here would be out to there. That is a lot of area to have to continually plant anything. Even if it's not something that we're going to be actively harvesting every roughly 25 days, we'll say 25 to 30. So what is that, like every 1.5 quadrums basically, they're going to have to replant all of those areas because the grass is just going to die. We could do something a little bit different, like hay grass, for example. It's going to last a lot longer at 56 days. And some of these are even longer than that, like smoke leaf, for example, was 60. So that would be, what, every 3 quadrums we'd have to replant everything? Still a ton of labor, massive amount of labor. But at least it wouldn't be as much as dense grass. Now the problem with doing something like this, or really anything other than grass, is that it is harvestable. And anything that is harvestable in a growing zone will get harvested. The problem there is I don't want them harvesting that. I'd rather just let it die and then replant it. The other issue is if they're harvesting that, and if it's a massive area around our base, they're going to spend all their time harvesting that and none of their time harvesting the stuff we actually need to harvest. So we could be experiencing massive food shortages because this corn is getting ignored in favor of all the wheatgrass. Kind of an issue. The other alternative is every time we get all that planted, I delete the growing zone. If it's not in a growing zone, they aren't going to automatically harvest it. So it will just grow and die. But the issue is they won't replant it either after it dies, and they won't keep it clear because there's no growing zone. So I would have to still manually go through and re-add the growing zones when stuff needs to get planted. And if something else springs up, I'll still have to manually ask them to cut it. So that doesn't really solve the issue, it just creates a different one. That's why I am not going to go ahead and use that system. I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing, which is just actively going and, you know, cutting plants wherever they need to be cut. And generally I'll do it like that, just kind of one by one, like you see here. But obviously I can always just go use the tool and very quickly drag it across. Now over our crops, that's probably not a great idea, but right here, it's not a big deal. Just ask them to cut across like that. So I'm going to continue doing that. It's a little bit more work for me than some of the potential alternatives, but it's going to avoid like a massive, you know, plant growing crisis by, you know, potentially doing some of the other systems. So that's why I'm not going to do that. It's just not a great idea. Okay, so we're having a wedding. I wanted to do something very quickly before we get started on that, and that is add a marriage spot to here. I'd like it to happen in sort of the square rather than they're all hanging out in sort of the pub or whatever this place is. Maybe the cantina, I don't know. There's no drinks here. That's all food, but anyway, they're all hanging out here eating right now. But when the ceremony starts, if there's a marriage spot, they should move over to it and have it there. So I figured that was a good place for it. Now, I hope we see more couples get together in this playthrough. I mean, eventually we will. I would prefer the rate at which it happens to increase a little bit, because not only would that really help me with housing arrangements, because obviously if we can put 2 people in a bed, that's preferable to 1 person. It means I can get rid of a lot of these smaller beds. But also we can start seeing more children come in, and then we'll have a little bit more passive growth to our... Oh, you're gonna have it... Come on, guys. I guess this needed to be put down before the ceremony started. Like the original ceremony thing where they're hanging out. Oh, that's a helmet. So let's see. While they're doing that, who needed a helmet? Danica, are you a fighter? No. Talisa, not really. Yes, he needs a helmet. So, I guess after the ceremony, go put your helmet on. You're not even really taking part in it, but okay. Also, this armor just kind of appeared out of nowhere, or at least I thought it did. I'm trying to remember if we took it off of Henson, and I feel like that's probably what happened, but it's been so long, I don't recall. However, it's steel, so it's actually really good armor. I just don't think we're actually going to use it because I'm trying to keep the whole, bronze aesthetic. It's not Dead Man's clothes, though. There's no tag or anything on it. So, must have come off somebody, but Tanya was walking around in it, and I was like, Tanya should not be wearing heavy armor. So I had her drop it and just forbade it right there. Forbid it. And I'll probably end up selling it. And we might wear similar armor to this, but I'm going to make it out of bronze, just so it looks more in line with kind of what we're going for. Anyways, there is a marriage complete. It looks like people are still going to hang out for a little while, though. Hopefully we can get back to work soon. I guess while that's going on, let's try to deal with some of these issues that we've got going on here. Oh, Gladius is finished too. Did you need one of those, Cassius? No, he's all armed. He just needs a shield and some actual armor. I'm going to forbid these. And actually I should forbid a couple other things in here, like the grenades, for example. Any other weapons? No, apparently. We're about to have a recurve bow. I believe... Was it her? Yeah. So Valen needs a bow. We'll give her that bow as soon as it's done. Oh, and it's done. So where did she run off to? I guess we'll just grab her up here again. So please equip that. And what else do we have going on? Caro is awaiting a medical operation. Oh right, we can't excise that carcinoma. I'll just get rid of it. Also, are you people not going to clean this stuff up? They should. The prisoners should handle it themselves because they are set to clean. They can leave this area if they need to. But apparently they're not going to do it. And then we also need more recreation variety. We don't have the ability to do a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of it that requires electricity, so that we can rule out immediately. Anything relating to reading or writing, we need specific materials for that we do not have access to yet. So that is a bit of a problem. Now, if we had books, we could, set up like a little reading nook somewhere, but we don't. So it's not something we can really worry about. We do have the ability to set up some entertainment. So I could put down a stage, for example. But I think I'll save this for when we actually go build our proper town, because I feel like it takes up too much space here. And we obviously can't do a microphone, though. If it doesn't require electricity and it's just needed to interact with, maybe I will put one down and we can pretend like it's something else. Yeah. We'll just pretend like it's a podium or something, but a podium without a microphone. But I think they need that to actually do certain things. Like, do they sing here? Of course, the tooltip is as lazy as it could possibly be. But the stage will allow us to hold performances, which would be cool. But again, I think that's better suited to when we build the full city, because I can build like a... oh, I'm blanking on the word. An amphitheater, like build an amphitheater around it. Kind of like this, but it would be a lot bigger, more space. So you got your bow, right? Where did she go? Oh, there she is. Oh, you stole a bunch of gear. That's why I couldn't find you. Yes, you do have your bow, though. So where did you grab that helmet from? Oh, damn it. Okay, so you put that down. Aetius, come put this on. And how did you take that helmet? I had that forbidden, I swear. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. The reason I forbid stuff like this is, A, so that doesn't happen, even though I don't think he can wear that helmet based on assignments. But I guess not, because he did. So it's to prevent stuff like that, typically. But also, because for certain things like weapons and armor, they're usually items that I am actively assigning to somebody, rather than, like a raw resource that somebody's going to come collect to build with. So by keeping a red X on them, it makes them easier for me to find. And again, it keeps them from doing what we saw there. I'll forbid that too. though that'll probably just get burned at the burning pit at some point. So speaking of the burning pit, it looks like we are all full up on our fecal sludge. So it's time for somebody to go light that whole thing on fire. Dante, what are you up to? Gonna go clean somebody's bedpan? That sounds like a fun job. Is everybody asleep? We have nobody on night shift? Oh, he's busy. Should have a couple people. So, what are you doing asleep? Maybe, I think the wedding screwed it up, but I'm going to wake him up. And I'm going to ask him to grab a bit of wood. Just one piece is all you need. We're going to go start a bonfire. Very smelly bonfire. But off he goes. So we'll grab that. Ooh, another meteorite. Slate. Okay, well at least we'll have a couple of different colored stone bricks to work with. But anyways, let's have you ride over here now with your lone piece of wood. And that muffalo is a little bit close for comfort, but I think we'll be okay. If he catches on fire, we'll put him out. You need to get a little bit closer and then lob the wood there. Come on, don't do this to me again. God, why is this so frustrating? I might have to tell him to put down the pila. Yeah. Okay, drop the pila. They switched to whatever the best weapon is for that type of combat. In this case, ranged combat. So, whoops, why am I right-clicking on that? So in that case, the pila was the best. There we go. Alright. No, 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 don't do that. Yeah, need to fix this. That can be home zone. You stop what you're doing. Come over here. And then, yeah, go back to whatever you were doing before. Interesting that that moved out of there, though. Stop it. It's not in the home zone. You don't need to put it out. So, I might give that a little bit more space. But it should spread and burn them all. Hopefully we can get all of them before it starts raining. That is one research down. 3 to go. So we're going to do microelectronics. I'm going to use our little research boost on multi-analyzers to get through that one immediately, and then we'll research fabrication properly. And apparently our relations went up with Sparta, but down with Ranyo and down with the Covenant. I'll just call them Southern Covenant, because that, whatever that middle word is in that name is a ridiculous word. So you were hunting somebody or something? I think these two. Yeah, go ahead and start throwing Pila at it. You can go melee attack it too. Come on, guys. Arctic Wolf Revenge. He started it. You don't get to claim revenge when you start the fight. Okay, you go get yourself healed, and then if you could haul that wolf for me, that would be great. Probably didn't need a horse for that, but okay. God, really? Who? I keep clearing them before I see who they're actually hunting. Ursus, I'm gonna have you fight it. And Galba, I'm gonna ask you to join as well. Dismount, please. No need to get a horse involved in this. And melee attack, okay. Fight, fight, fight. Alright. Let's mark you for hunting. Ursus, go ahead and prioritize hunting. Galba, as you were. You're gonna go get patched up. Oh, he cut you pretty good. And somebody should come grab those. Yep. We fertilized the ground there a little bit too. Still no rain. You're not actively getting destroyed, right? Okay, just making sure. If that catches fire, we should get notified, though. Oh, this is getting ridiculous. Holy hell. So we're going to be under siege by elk. That'll be fun. I don't know why it loves throwing wild animals at us so much. But yeah, we're going to have to turtle up for this one. All we really have to do is get inside. Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't really cause too much of a problem as long as they don't get through the gate. What are you doing right now? You are butchering. Just drop the food in there. That's all you need to do, and then come back over here. I'm going to draft everybody because I don't trust them not to be idiots. So we're going to call everybody in. You know what? In your case, I probably don't need to do that. You need to rest until healed. I'm going to tell you to rest until healed too, just so you prioritize it. Tanya, you get over here. And you're going to make sure that they're both treated. Prioritize tending. I trust you to do it over a prisoner. Looks like she started maybe, but we'll have her wrap that up. And you've already been tended to. Okay. Good. Everybody else is going to set up here. We'll put some people on the crossbows. And we'll see what they do. I'm assuming... I guess we can put some people on the lower gates too. Anybody with a bow, go ahead and pick a spot on the wall. And then I'm going to grab, like, Gogwa, do you have any range skill? Not a lot of it. Katya, you're a lot better. We'll man these crossbows down here too. Dismount, please. Man that one. Okay. So who does that leave? Hilda, set up over there. Desiree over here. Artemis. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of them on this side. So let's put some people down in this area. Okay. Aetius, why don't you go there? Galba, dismount, take the corner. Salah, go there. And I guess we'll put some people over here too, since there's space. Prefer not to get into any melee combat with them though. I don't really see a reason to even risk it. Oh, Loka, how could I forget about you? Get over there somewhere. Actually, it looks like they're going to hit this side pretty hard. Not that they're actually going to attack the walls or anything, it's just they will kind of wander over there. Okay, that's looking pretty good. The rest can just stand by right there. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, as long as no humans wander out there. Oh wait, what? They're attacking my animals? Since when? They shouldn't do that. That's so odd. I don't know why it would attack an animal. You can see that for the most part they've ignored the animals. Oh no. Oh, okay. That's not a big deal. I thought this caught fire and was going to get destroyed. It's not like they're expensive or anything. It's just a real pain to have to reset all my bills when they get wiped out. So far this is working pretty well though. Pretty pleased with that. Just a couple more to take down. And then we are all set here. Unfortunately, this one's a little bit too far away for us to hit. It looks like my Muffalo won that fight, though. Good on him. Or her. Probably her. Yeah. Okay, so what? 2 more? Maybe? Sheriff, that seems like a bad idea. Oh, really? Gotta be joking. The Black Fiends. Oh, this is the pirate group. Wait. Oh no, they're drop podding? You gotta be kidding. Okay. Let's see where they land. Wow, on top of us. That's real fair. Desiree, you might want to move. Stilico, you guys get over here. I need you to rush out there immediately. Let's have you get to there. Gogua, actually, you know what? No, you go here. Gogua, go where she is. Katya, I need you to get out there. And Hilda, set up behind maybe. If we can get to them before they break out, we'll be fine. If we can't, then we might have problems. I'm a little bit wary about putting people over here, but I am going to need archers on that spot. And I already gave you guys orders, maybe? No? Okay, we'll get over there somewhere. Oh no, I think I told them to go out there. Whoops. Okay, just a matter of waiting now. Kaibo, yeah, I want you like right on top of them so that the moment they get out of their pods, we've got them engaged in melee combat. I think all the animals out here are down. So, Felix, do you have any range skill? Not really. Let's see, Loka, come over here, please. Bilarar, come over here. Constantine, come over there, I guess. We'll put more archers on that side. And Felix, I'm going to ask you to man the crossbow. And if there's any stray man-hunting animals out there, we will be able to pick them off eventually. Okay, so I think that's adequate. Alright, so immediately we've got people whipping out guns against us. Some of those are quite nasty. That's like a proper assault rifle. It's like a, what, a Tech 9? Just a machine pistol, revolver. Okay. Oh, the stun gun is probably the most dangerous thing on this battlefield. Aetius, please tie him up in melee. Don't let him shoot you. Bilarar, engage him as well. Oh, get up here. Don't sit back there and do it. Alright. Kaibo. Go attack him. Melee attack him. Melee attack him. You should probably be in cover. And I need, yeah, you guys need to be shooting out here. I think that was all friendly fire right there. So they're starting to flee. That went pretty well. But pretty low of the game to try that. Come on, Felix, you got this. Anything else we need to do? Can I have all three of you shooting at those people? Salah, you should probably get yourself patched up. Stilico, come melee attack these guys. Oh, great. Cassius is down. But other than that, I think we're all clear. Yeah, is that the end of the raid? Other than this guy who looks like he's going to get away. That's fine. So all of you, as you were, you guys can go back to your daily routines as well. As can you. So yeah, I think our defenses are, you know, pretty solid. Of course, the worst thing they could have done is exactly what they did. Landing closer to us just meant it was easier for us to pull them into melee, which obviously negates the benefit of their guns. Whereas if they had landed outside the base and traded shots with us, I think an assault rifle would have beaten a bow and arrow eventually. But it doesn't appear that that will be an issue now. So we'll get everybody kind of moving on. There are some repairs obviously need to get done because they, you know, landed drop pods in the middle of our walls here. But let's take a look at these guys and see if any of them are worth capturing. We have a Too Smart Undergrounder. I think he is worth maybe bringing on. He's good at mining and crafting and social with a lot of passion for crafting. So somebody we can just make an artisan and have them, you know, work. Doesn't even necessarily need to be a colonist. We could just leave him as a prisoner and make sure he has access to crafting facilities. Too smart means he's going to level up really, really fast, though, at this, especially with the 150% from Burning Passion. It does mean he's a little bit more likely to have a mental break, though, which is a bit unfortunate. The Undergrounder's just pure positive. It means that he doesn't mind hanging out in dark caves for a long time. So that's a yes, I think, worth at the very least capturing. David there is dead. Harry is a neurotic. Oh no, I don't think we can justify bringing him on. Bloodlust and neurotic means he's going to have a lot of social problems. He's going to start a lot of fights and stuff. Which is a shame because he's not a bad fighter. And health-wise, he's... Actually, that's something I should have checked on everybody. Cut his eye out, but otherwise that is stuff that will heal. Some, you know, with Death Rattle, I always have to make sure they're not like clinically dead before I try to save them. Too smart, staggeringly ugly, and tough. She's not bad though. Not bad. And too smart, of course, does have its downside, but still I think it's a net positive or at least neutral. Staggeringly ugly is a bit unfortunate, but if we put her on like a night shift, it's not really going to matter. And she can obviously fight for us as well as mine. Down here we have Libas, who has a bionic stomach. That's interesting. Not very, you know, conducive to our theme here, but we can try to ignore it. He is actually an amazing character. Wow. Passion for virtually everything. Pretty skilled in everything he has passion for. Chemical fascination might be a bit of a problem, but if we just don't have chemicals around for him to abuse, it won't become one. Transhumanist is actually a pure benefit in this case because he already has something that will qualify. So that's basically just going to translate into a permanent mood buff for him. And the Jogger means he's a little bit faster than average. So he is somebody that is definitely worth bringing on. Tomoko is, wow, 3 really bad traits. Her hated work types aren't necessarily a problem, but this is going to create a lot of issues. And while she is a decent fighter, she doesn't offer a whole lot of utility beyond that. Maybe in crafting and construction, but she doesn't like doing it. So she won't progress all that well. I'm going to have to say no there. The traits are, I think, the deal breaker in her case. Probably just let her bleed out. Then we have Sanders, who is... did he get castrated? I think he got castrated in that fight. That's unfortunate. Anyway, he's a pyro, so that's no deal. Poor guy. Well, we didn't need any eunuchs anyways. Cord. Cord. A lot of misogynists these days, apparently. That plus Nervous, I think, is pretty bad. Quick Sleeper is good, but these two are bad. Skills are okay. Health is decent. I don't know. I'm going to have to say no. I think the combination of the bad traits plus her age, meaning that she is going to start having, like, you know, bad back or frail torso start popping up relatively soon. I don't think it's worth it. We'll try to keep people like in their 30s or younger from now on, though we might make some exceptions. And then we have Chisk, who hates dumb labor and is volatile. That's unfortunate. Decent skills, though, across the board. How is your health looking? It's a tough call. I think I'm going to say no. If we were in a different situation where I wasn't just overflowing with people and prisoners, Chisk is somebody I would probably take. I might even take Cord, but in this case, I don't think it's worth it. And then lastly, we have Fox, who is bleeding pretty badly, but is savable. She hates dumb labor as well, which is very unfortunate, and is trigger happy. which doesn't really matter because she can't shoot worth a damn. So animals and art. It's a maybe. I'm gonna try to save everybody else first, or at least the people that I am interested in saving. So it was you, and what, you, I think? I guess we should go through and triage our own people first. So Stilicho, he's got some bruises. Basically, somebody was trying to pistol whip him with a Tech 9, and he managed to tank through it for the most part. Can you capture Fleming, please? We should probably make sure we have a place to put these people. Where are you putting him? Oh, crap. No, I'd rather you not do that. Let's put some more of these down. Probably not going to need that many, but just for the hell of it. So Stilicho, you're going to grab them. ATS, I'm glad that stun gun didn't hit you, because so far those things have been more lethal than any other weapon I've come across. Killing very large dinosaurs in a single hit, where 6 people opening up with machine guns could only wound it. You need to eat, but you're putting a fire out. I'll let you do that. Loka's relaxing socially, so she can come do some work for us. Harry, were you somebody we were going to try to grab? I don't think so. I think we will rescue Mankin. So Loka, capture Mankin, please. And then Libas was a definite yes. Tanya, stop cowering and come grab this person here. And then Tomoko was a no. I think everybody else was a no, with her being a maybe. You know what, though? I think I'm going to actually save all of them, now that I think about it. But everybody we don't want will just cut loose, because I'd like to try to get onto neutral terms with this faction so they stop sending people with guns after us. Though, because they're the typical hostile pirate faction, I don't know if we can actually change this relationship. It might always be a -100, but I'd like to see if it's possible to not be hostile toward them. Bit of an experiment, I guess. Felix. Loka's gonna grab... Okay, so you do that one. Galba. Rearming wooden crossbow, that's fine. You need to get treated. You're washing somebody. You're resting. No time for resting. Capture, please. Capture. Billarar. Capture. Out of space, okay. Well, then we have to make more space. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. Again, I'm not going to keep all these people. I'm only going to keep like 3 of them. But I want to heal them and then cut them loose and see if we can't maybe make these guys not our friends, but at the very least not actively trying to kill us with guns. Okay, so we're out of room again. Right. Then we need one more right there. And Epicus, that's going to be your job. So one thing I'm going to make sure that happens here is we're not going to waste any medicine on these people. Actually, for Libas, I'm going to make an exception, because he is pretty badly injured. Though, again, this stuff will all heal. And he's also incredibly good. So, I don't want to risk losing him to something dumb like an infection. But for all the other prisoners, I'm not going to waste any. We're just going to patch them up as best we can and cut most of them loose and hope we get some sort of relationship bonus. Alright, so with most of the prisoners taken care of, let's have a quick look and just make sure everybody got treated properly. Mankin is good to go. No medicine wasted there, though I did have to use some in a couple of cases because it actually speeds up treatment process. So in a few cases, the people were so close to bleeding to death, I had to make sure they got medicine, because otherwise they would have been tended to too slow. But Cord is good to go. Fox is good to go. Obviously, they're going to take a long time to recover from severe blood loss, but they're not going to bleed to death anymore. Libas is, you know, perfectly fine. Harry is all taken care of. You were injured from a previous fight, so that's nothing new. As far as our own people go, I think most of it was bruising, cracks and bruises from, you know, fist fights and getting pistol whipped. Stilico, how about you? Just a single bruise. You have a couple of minor cuts. Or stabs, I guess. Punctures. Gogua is bleeding a little bit still. Oh, she got shot by a sniper rifle in the arm. She could use some treatment. She's busy tending to people herself, though. So we'll have to make sure she gets back here eventually. That was the wolf incident. That's all pretty minor. That's all pretty minor. And, oh, you got shot with a shotgun. You are sleeping. Tanya, you're washing. When you're done washing... That was you, right? Where are you? Okay. Tanya, when you're done with that, please tend to her. So up here, Sanders is close to bleeding to death, but it looks like we'll be able to get him taken care of. Please do just that last little bit before you go treat yourself. And then Fleming is all taken care of too. Though again, he did lose an eye. All in all though, looks like we'll save every single one of them. And then again, I'll make sure that the prisoners that we do not intend to keep are cut loose. We also had a pretty nice food delivery right before the raid, so I think keeping everybody fed will not be a problem. At least we can hope. But we'll have plenty of... Is it technically venison? No, that's deer meat. Elk are... I always forget the distinction. But anyway, it's not important. We'll have a lot of meat to go around. Alright, so... I think everybody has been tended to at this point. I want to go through, before we call it a day, and just quickly survey like recruitment difficulties and stuff. We'll also check in with our other prisoners, just so you guys know kind of where we stand with recruiting and all that stuff. Let's start with the people that are in here that we just captured. Well, we'll start with Caro. So I think we've been actively recruiting Caro. Yeah, though it doesn't look like we've made any progress. I wonder if they're even bothering because of his current state. I don't know, to be honest. But Fox was somebody that we were maybe considering bringing on as like an artist, an animal handler. Maybe not. We'll see. I guess it depends on this. But it looks like she wouldn't be too hard to recruit, so it shouldn't be much of an issue if we decide to. Chisk is kind of the same, but Chisk is not somebody that we were interested in, so Chisk is just going to get set free. Harry is a little bit more difficult, at least in terms of resistance, but not by much. But again, not somebody we were particularly interested in. Abram, pretty good fighter. Also misogynist, slowpoke, tough. We'll see about him. He is from a different faction, though. But not too hard to recruit. Libas is the easiest so far, and the best character, so obviously we'll want to be recruiting him very actively. And then Timoleon. We still have a long way to go with her. She's a Spartan after all, but she is kind of good other than being sickly. So I think she is going to be worth the effort. Let's see. There are other people, other prisoners, I should say, wandering around. So Mankin is somebody that we were potentially interested in. She is a little bit harder than most of the people in there, but not anywhere on the level of Caro or some of the tribals. Demosthenes is a lot harder than all of them. Not quite to Caro's level, but still pretty high. And I wasn't sure about him because he's another sort of artist intellectual. There's a couple of characters like that, and so we'll have to basically decide, you know, who of that group we want and who we're going to set loose. We can have more than one. There's just only so much that type of work to go around, so we don't want to have several. And who else? You guys are all colonists. No, Gallo is not. Right, so we finished his resistance. It's just a matter of, you know, rolling a 100 on that 0 to 100 scale. Greedy Night Owl. The greedy is a bit of a problem, but otherwise he's pretty solid. So we'll see if we have any success with that. Are they the only prisoners in here? I believe so. Oh, Henson. Henson is a pyromaniac night owl. She was going to be a permanent prisoner. At least I thought. Yeah. So, Henson, just work, please. And I thought she was doing, like, medical stuff. I kind of don't want her doing that. Henson... I didn't change any of this, right? So, medicine or doctoring, no thank you. I'll have to go through and tweak a lot of these, but yeah, I don't want them doing medicine, like at all. Okay, moving on over here. Starting to lose my voice. Left to right, we have Stin. Really good at a lot of things, just not fighting. But I think definitely somebody worth bringing on. We're almost through his resistance. Z's got a little bit more to go. Creepy breathing masochist, but something of an archer, possibly, with a bit of utility elsewhere. Vivian, looks like we're through her resistance. It's just a matter of overcoming the difficulty, which is not very high. She has a very high mental break threshold, but she's going to work and learn very fast. And she is quite good. Alexandria, really good traits, okay skills, good fighter with a little bit of utility here and there, but we still have a way to go on her recruitment. Phoenix, we're through her resistance, so just the difficulty, meaning a lot of these people might join us either before next episode or during next episode, but probably relatively soon. Phoenix, are you worth bringing on? You know what? She is from that same faction, the Black Fiends. I think I'm going to cut her loose. She's going to be another one I let go in the hopes of getting a bit of relations. So let's just release her. We wasted all that time reducing her resistance, but I just don't see her being so important that I couldn't do without. So away she goes, and then Sanders, another person that we weren't going to recruit because he's a pyromaniac. But maybe somebody that could stay on as a prisoner, because he is young. Does have some skill and some passion. But he's unfortunately a eunuch now. Unfortunately for him. Not too hard to recruit, but we have no intention of that. I guess we'll just keep him there for now. But we've got some options with him. Anyways, I'm going to call it there because my throat is really starting to feel it. I've been recording for about an hour and 20 minutes dealing with all this medical stuff. So, that turned out to be a lot more interesting than I intended it to be. I guess we'll have to discuss a little bit more about future plans next time. But I'd like to maybe start moving on our little trip over to here relatively soon because our colony is getting quite big. And as far as the base goes, there's not a lot left to work on. We can't really add much without expanding, and I don't have any desire to do that, at least not here on this map tile. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.